From Delaware's most award-winning radio news team, this is WDEL Video News. Here's Chris Carl.
Among Delaware's top stories for Wednesday, March 26th, the local Red Cross says it needs funds or may go out of business. New developments in the wind power debate. And Middletown police are getting a home of their own. Here are the details. One of the region's most recognizable emergency response agencies is facing an emergency of their own. WDEL's Lee St. John with details.
Red Cross of the Delmarva Peninsula is facing a budget shortfall of $500,000 and has only 3 months to plug the hole. With the state's Emergency Operations Center in Smyrna as a backdrop, the organization kicked off their What If Emergency Fund Drive, as in what if there was no Red Cross. Heading up the drive is former Happy Harry's CEO Alan Levin, who says if the need can't be met, the result would be unthinkable.
If there is not adequate funding to provide the necessary services, the minimum services that this area needs, then this chapter would cease. And we would have to look elsewhere, whether it be to Maryland, to Philadelphia, to southern Jersey, to provide these services. And I think that'd be awful.
Margie Pruitt, CEO of Red Cross of Delmarva, says that since 9/11, local funding has unfortunately taken a back seat to national and international emergencies, as well as other worthwhile charities.
There's far more nonprofits who have very, very important causes that have gotten very sophisticated at raising money in very many ways, and it's very difficult to, if you will, compete. We don't even like to use that word because it's not about whether or not their effort is important or ours is not. It's about both of them being important, and we just need people to consider how important Red Cross is to them and their community.
For more details, go to their website, redcrossdelmarva.org. Reporting from Smyrna, Lee St. John, 1150 AM, WDEL.
Well, 2 utilities have joined Delmarva Power in its effort to supply electricity from wind, while Blue Water Wind claims Delmarva is forcing it to play by different rules. Delaware Electric Cooperative and Old Dominion Electric Cooperative are joining Delmarva in the bidding process to supply land-based wind power. Delmarva says it's gotten more than 35 bids from an onshore wind power providers. The company claims onshore wind will save customers 50% over the length of a 25-year contract compared to Blue Water's proposed wind farm off the coast of Rehoboth. Blue Water, meantime, says Delmarva hasn't released the bids to the public and that Delmarva's request for proposals imposes requirements on Blue Water that land-based providers don't have to contend with. Later today, Delmarva President Gary Stockbridge and Blue Water spokesman Jim Lennard will debate face-to-face onshore versus offshore wind power on WDEL's Rick and Brian show after 1 o'clock. The married lover of a New Jersey woman missing since June has agreed to return to New Jersey to face a murder charge. Rosario DiGirolamo waived extradition in New York yesterday. He's being held in lieu of $1 million bail in the killing of Amy Giordano, the New Jersey woman with whom he had a 1-year-old son, who was found abandoned in Christiana Hospital's parking lot days after Giordano disappeared. Authorities discovered human skeletal remains they believe to be Giordano's in a remote Staten Island pond. A big late-night fire in Wilmington. WDEL News continues in a moment.
Wilmington University now offers the Doctor of Business Administration program. This advanced degree is designed to enhance leadership and managerial skills. Applications for fall semester are being accepted now, so visit us at wilmu.edu/business or call 877-967-5464. Wilmington University, your life, your time, your education.
No one was hurt, but an apartment building in Wilmington was heavily damaged in a fire last night. It started in the 3-story building on West 5th Street around 10 o'clock. A woman and child and 2 other adults were able to get out safely. The 3rd-floor apartment had severe fire damage. The fire marshal is trying to figure out what started that fire. County police are asking for your help in finding an elderly Stanton area couple who've been missing since yesterday afternoon. Police say 80-year-old Walter Januz and his 82-year-old wife, Grace, were last seen around 1:30, and they were suffering from early-onset Alzheimer's disease. The couple were last seen in their car, a bronze-colored Oldsmobile Regency. Police say the Januses went missing once before and were found after they were involved in a traffic crash hundreds of miles away. Anyone who may have seen the couple is asked to contact county police. State House Speaker Terry Spence has ruled out a run for governor. He says he will instead focus this year on winning a 15th term for the seat he has held in the State House for nearly 28 years. Spence says he was willing to run, but the Republican Party was not supportive of his candidacy. He says he was told by party leaders he's too nice to Democrats in the House. Spence's decision follows decisions by two other prominent Republicans to stay on the sidelines for the governor's race. Former drugstore chain CEO Alan Levin and 2004 nominee Bill Lee bowed out earlier this year. Just 5 months after taking to the streets, the Middletown Police Department takes steps to get a new home. WDEL's Carl Konevsky reports.
Governor Minner and Mayor Ken Brenner joined Middletown Police Chief Hank Tobin and others in breaking ground for the department's new police station just off Route 299. Tobin says a building specifically designed for the force will serve police and the public much better than the current home in the Middletown Town Hall.
We're working out of the basement, but it's not really a fully functional area for us. We have to rely on other agencies for processing prisoners and for interviewing suspects and so on. So we need a full-service police department, and that's what this will be.
Tobin says even though the force has been in place for just about 5 months, it's already marked successes and needs a full-service facility.
The officers have very quickly adapted to the community, learned to know who the individuals are that are involved in the criminal activity, and when something happens, they've had a lot of success in apprehending the people involved in the crimes that have occurred.
The building will cost about $1.5 million and should be completed by the fall. Reporting from Middletown, I'm Carl Konevsky, 1150 AM, WDEL.
The Flyers are turning things around. WDEL Sports and your Delaware AccuWeather forecast coming up.
When it comes to flooring, great style doesn't have to be expensive, especially when you shop at Carpet One Floor & Home. Our 1,000-store buying power gives you the best prices on hardwood, carpet, tile, laminate, and more, including brands you'll find exclusively at Carpet One Floor & Home, like Liz Claiborne Home, Good Housekeeping with Resista, and Lee's, all with guaranteed installation and no payments for 1 year. See how easy it is to find your perfect style. Shop in store, online, or in-home, only at Carpet One Floor & Home.
WDEL Sports, Mike Richards' goal in overtime lifts the Flyers to a win over the Rangers last night in New York. Richards scored the breakaway goal, 2:16 into overtime. Danny Briere tied the game with his 30th goal of the season in the third period, and Marty Biron stopped 31 shots for the Flyers, who now move to within 1 point of the Rangers in the Eastern Conference playoff race. The Phillies' fourth starter had another poor spring outing yesterday, and the Phils lost to the Reds in Clearwater. WDEL's Don Volz reports from spring training.
Phillies second-year right-hander Kyle Kendrick has had a tough spring, and Tuesday was no exception when the 23-year-old was rocked for 5 runs in 5 innings in a 5-3 loss to Cincinnati. Last year's 10-game winner said ground balls this year are finding holes, unlike a year ago.
This feels like this spring I just came through the hole.
All right.
Last year, they were at people. This spring just feels like they're getting through the holes. Which, if I keep getting ground balls, sooner or later they're going to get, be at guys, and that's what I want. So. Just roll with it and just keep working.
With just a few days left before the season starts, manager Charlie Manuel isn't 100% satisfied with his pitching staff.
I'm concerned about the middle of our bullpen. I'd like to have our pitching staff completely set. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But at the same time, I like our back end, like I told you. I think we're ready to start the season. I think our starters they've been stretched out pretty good, and condition-wise and everything, I think we're definitely ready to go.
There are several decisions to be made about the pitching staff, and not a lot of time to make them. The final roster must be set by Sunday afternoon. In Clearwater, Don Volz, WDEL Sports.
Your WDEL Delaware AccuWeather forecast: a shower in spots this morning, then clouds and sun today, and a high near 60. Increasing clouds tonight, low 39. Tomorrow cloudy with rain at times, a high of 50. Raining on Friday, a bit cooler, high 46. Good news updates throughout the day. Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour on 11:50 a.m. And to get WDEL News text alerts sent to your cell phone, you can sign up here at WDEL.com. I'm Chris Carl. Thanks for watching.